Hey, welcome back. Another day, another vlog. Great to have you back on Monday. Whew, what a weekend. Heaps happening. Not going to mess around too much. Going to get into it. There's a fair bit of news to get through. Heaps to talk about, actually. I had to go on the back page again. That's September. September. Was it Tech Ember? I think they call it, or Techtober, or whatever it is. But yeah, heaps happening. So I'm going to get into it. Just quickly, obviously this week I'm working on my road reel video, and last couple of nights I've just sat down, I've got it set up in there, I've started doing the edit, the crop and all that sort of stuff. Just all the normal things to make a video, but it's looking pretty good. I'm pretty excited, actually. This one's a little special to me. It's a little something, so that's going pretty well. So I should have that by the week. So that'll be this weekend's video. But it'll also be a my road reel competition entry. So I'm going to have to ask you all a big favour. Once I do release it, I'll probably do it as a premiere and get it all when I set it all up. But I'm also going to share it all around. But I want you to try and share it and all like it and go over and do everything you can to like on it to get some more push on it. Because, yeah, there's 200 grand up for grabs here. If I can somehow get a winner, well, it'll be gold. I'd be stoked. If I win a category, there'll definitely be some prizes coming out for the subscribers. So I think I can work that out. If I get 200 grand, that'd be pretty cool. So yeah, I'll let you know more about that once I'm ready to release it. But it should be out hopefully on the weekend. I'm not rushing this one. I've got till the 8th of October, so I just need to make sure it's tickety boo, and it should be all good. So looking pretty good at the moment with the footage I've taken. It went really well. I did have some dramas. The M50, obviously, when you use 4K, you get the crop, which I planned for, but the focus is a pain in the butt because you lose dual pixel autofocus, and yeah, it's painful. I probably should have gone manual, but I was in a mad rush trying to fit. As it is, it took me 6 hours to get the whole footage for a 3-minute clip. So trying to fit it all in, and I just should have gone manual and used the manual focus, but I was trying to fit it in and cook food at the same time. There's a little secret tip. Was very tricky. So see how we go. I'm pretty happy with it anyway. It looks pretty good, and I think I've got it under 3 minutes, which is the hardest part. And there's a little bit of time warping and stuff like that, a little bit of funky stuff. So looking pretty good so far, but I'll keep you up to date as we go. But it's going to be one of those ones I really want you to like and share and all the fun stuff, the easy stuff that doesn't cost you anything but can make a difference. Rightio, let's get into this news because we've got tons to talk about. The new phone, yet another phone. How many phones have we had since June? It's just been insane. And this is another budget one. This is another $200 US one, so sub $500, but got $1,000 sort of features. So definitely, if you're another Android user, obviously Apple, you get one choice, and we still haven't got one for this year. So we're losing. Apple's losing this year big time. The Android people have had multiple options to choose from with all the new tech, and yeah, Apple better come out with something strong. Was going to be some pissed off Apple users. But this POCO, it's a POCO. It's from Unbox Therapy. The boys had over there. Super nice looking unit. Really nice blue, shimmery blue. Some really good colors options with the phones. I've noticed on the other platforms on Android, even though they cost stuff all, they really they look $1 million. So you'd be very unlucky to get a bad phone at the moment. So many choices. This got the Snapdragon 732G, so it's not that 800 series one, the 865 or whatever it is, but it's still got plenty of grunt in it. That 732G is still pretty good. It's a 2.3 gigahertz phone with 120 hertz screen, $250 US they're saying, and it's also got a 240 hertz touch sampling. So that 120 hertz, which is the new standard, which Apple can't do apparently. From all the leaks. Well, this is a $250 phone that can do 120 hertz, which is quite funny, I think. 240 hertz touch sampling. So that's if you're doing a lot of gaming and stuff and you need that burst of accelerated to when it's running through a screen or something and it really needs those graphics to come through. This is the ability to basically like a turbo boost up and make your screen run faster for a short burst. to catch those frame rates up. So that's pretty cool. Some pretty cool cameras, 64 megapixel main camera, so no problems there for if you're just looking for something that can take a good photo. That's going to be fantastic. 13 megapixel ultra wide, 2 megapixel macro, and a 2 megapixel depth camera on it. So it's got all the camera options there. Again, for a budget phone, 64 megapixels, so it's probably that Sony sensor, which they've all pretty much using. So look, you really can't go wrong there. It's going to be a decent picture. It's got a 5,160 milliamp battery, which is huge, absolutely huge. This is going to be at least a couple of days life out of this one. I don't think you'll have a drama there. 33-watt fast charge. It'll do 62% in 30 minutes. Now that's a massive battery to do that too, and 100% in an hour and 5 minutes. So like that's really good. Very happy about that. It's got a fingerprint sensor on the button, so there's nothing in screen. There's no notch. No, I think there's still a little notch on it for that one. It's USB-C, so that's fantastic. And it's got a headphone jack. So look, really another budget option. We've had a few out this year, and that market segment is getting hot. There's a lot of good deals if you're looking for a phone. Now the RTX 3080 launch, that's the super duper new graphics cards, and sold out everywhere. Scalpers got on there and used bots to automatically buy all the stock off the shelves. So they all went, and then straight away after that, there was one that got sold on eBay for $70,000 US for, I think it's like a $1,200. No, they were cheaper than 3080s. It was like a $600-700 US, and it sold for $70,000. Now it turns out it was sort of flipped back on the scalper because the $70,000 sale reneged. It was actually the good guys, the good gamers. They all had enough of this and they fought back. They went on all these eBay bids and put in fake bids and then reneged, which basically slows down the process for the guys to sell it. So hopefully the stock will bounce back quickly. As well as that, the guys that make them, eBay also got on there and put in some things to trim down it so they can't sell them. And NVIDIA's going through manually checking sales. So if someone's in there buying 50 of them, they're basically going bad luck. You can get one, ship out one, and refund the money for the rest. So it was pretty interesting. I know it happens a lot in the sneaker world, and they have bots, and there's a few people have seen where you can get bots to automatically, when the sneakers drop, they buy them. The computers get in there and buy the shoes for you so you don't miss out. There's some decent money in that. Obviously, scalping tickets has been around for long. Now, computer graphics cards. This was a super hot item and went crazy. But yeah, see it $70,000 for a graphics card is pretty insane. So very cool. Now, on the same path as that, the Sony PS5 sold out before it even was released in America. A couple of the shops had pre-release sales on, and they released it. They went live too early, like a few hours early, and as soon as they went live, basically everyone went in and went, bought them all out, and then Sony released it, and it was already out of stock America-wide. You couldn't get one. So if you wanted a Sony PlayStation 5, going to be tricky. One of the places in work got a pre-order in, fluked one, and there was another release today. So if you're looking for one in Australia, hopefully you were ready and waiting for the release, because if you didn't, you've probably missed out and you're going to have to wait a few months before they restock. So massive big ticket items. Pretty crazy to see everyone jump on. Obviously, with everyone stuck at home, gaming's become huge, and that PlayStation 5's been, it's a PlayStation, it's pretty cool. There are some good deals out there though for them, so if you're not an urgent rush and you don't have to have it, just hold off, because you'll get a decent deal. Even they're doing trade-ins for your PS4 Pros and stuff, so I'm probably going to get rid of my PS4 Pro. I think it might be time. Rightio, TikTok is done, banned. It's even been banned on the everywhere now. It's been taken out of the shop. Sorry, brain meltdown. Trump come in, even though Oracle got it, they shut it down. So that's been locked. That started on the 20th of September. So you can no longer download it from the App Store in the States, TikTok. So massive news. They've gone to the boss of Instagram to try and get some assistance to push back at the government. Adding on to that, Trump is now looking at anyone involved with Tencent, who were the creators and owners of TikTok, and they're going to be looking into their dealings as well. If they find that, well, there's going to be some issues there, and that's going to affect Epic, who owns Fortnite. They're one of the big gamers, and that's partially owned at about 40%, and Riot Games, which is owned 100% by Tencent. So they reckon if you've got those games and you need to do any updates for Epic or Riot, I suggest you get it done really quickly, because it looks like Trump and his team are going to be going for them next. So look out. Loawa Lenses has released a 14mm full frame RL zero distortion lens. Really, really nice bit of kit. It is an f4, I believe, but it's that wide on the full frame, which is just ridiculous, and zero distortion. So when I say zero distortion, basically means you might be able to see it with this. This is on about 11.5, but probably about 11 mil now, so it should be fairly wide. So when you get a straight line, so on here and on your edges, that'll sort of curve on a normal wide angle lens. You get that sort of little bit of bowing in it, sort of like a fisheye sort of effect. With a zero distortion, they use lens magic and basically keep those lines, should be dead straight. And that's the secret. If you're buying a wide angle lens, if you can get a dead straight line out of it, then you know you've got a bit of quality that makes a massive difference. And it's not ridiculously expensive. It's $549 to $649 US, depending on your mount. So, look, Loawa is a really quality brand. They do great lenses. I actually do have an affiliate link down below, which I think gives you a discount. So you can go check that out. That'll help you out if you are looking at buying one. But they're doing Sony. They'll even do Canon RF. So if you've got a R or an RP, you'll be able to get a nice wide angle lens to suit. So very, very cool. Asus have teamed up with IKEA. A while back, I think we talked about Herman Miller with Logitech built the gamer's chair. Looked like basically a spine on the back of a chair, and it'd fit into your spine to keep your back straight. Well, they've teamed up with them, and well, we've got more furniture coming basically for gamers. IKEA is going to make 30 plus gaming inspired furniture accessories, and that's coming 2021 October. So gaming industry is growing and growing. It's a massive, massive business. It's a huge sport now with the esports. Millions of dollars. I think we talked about $40 million for one of the big competitions coming up. It's huge, huge money. So, and now the chairs are going. There was a new chair I looked at the other day through Lulated. That was pretty funky. And that Herman Miller was like $2,500 Australian. So for a chair, which is just insane, looks really, really comfortable, but yeah, super mega expensive. And now you're going to have all sorts of furniture. It's going to be interesting because IKEA is sort of very environmentally friendly, flat pack stuff, whereas Asus is very RGB, in your face, sharp angles, all that sort of stuff. It's going to be pretty cool to see what they come up with, but it should be fairly cost sensitive too. So IKEA is pretty well renowned for being fairly cheap. I got some RGB lights from IKEA and it cost me like, I think $30 or something Australian. So really, really cool. And the same tubes to buy them online. You're looking at $200 to $300. So super, super cheap. This could be good if you're looking to set up a room. If you're going to start live streaming gaming October next year. Look, you're going to probably save up and don't spend too much to start off with until you get a bit of a following, but you'll be able to do some funky stuff as of next year. Google is releasing, this is a good one for Australians, this is going to make you laugh. Google for many, many years, at least 10 years, has had 1 gigabyte per second internet download speed, available in about 19 different states over there. It's all basically through broadband hardline, basically like our NBN, which is pretty much useless unless you've got, I think, about $300. I think you can a month you can get 400 or 500 megasecond if you're willing to pay that, but that's just ridiculous. I think I've got the best I can for my system, and it's 115 a month, and the best I get's 80 meg on a good day. So that's the best we get in Australia. Well, they've had for 10 years, Google's been pumping out 1 gig. They are now upping it, and it's going to be changing over. 2 gigabyte downloads and 1 gigabyte upload speed per second. That's right. 4 gig movie, download it, 2 seconds. Beat that. That's 100 US bucks a month. So about 150 Australian for that ridiculous speed and the amount of time it'll save you if you're doing stuff or if you're streaming movies or live sport streaming. That is very, very cool. Game streaming, Google. So that's pretty remarkable. It's starting in, I think, a couple of states, and it's coming out this year, and it'll work its way through the current 19 states, and they're looking to expand that further as well. So very cool from Google. Now, over in Canon rumors, the C70 should be dropping this week at this week at Canon Vision. We've got that event coming up. The C70, that's that one we showed the photo. Sort of looks like a really fat, overweight DSLR camera, really thick one, and it's got the fans on the side. You may have seen some images. That's coming out. It looks pretty cool. Now, also, there's supposed to be a C50 as well. That never really got mentioned because that's been pushed back. That was supposed to be released together, and that's going to be even smaller. So I guess picture the R5, the next step from the R5, you're going to have that C50. So very, very cool. Now the C50 will be your base model for your cinema line, new cinema line for RF mount cameras for Canon, and that's really cool. So obviously being RF mount, you get all that good glass, and it's a little bit easier to, I think Potato Jet was saying the other day, it's a lot easier to swap from RF over to PL and the others than it is from EF. EF's a little bit harder to work with. So, excuse me, very, very cool. Now the C70, the specs for that, it's Super 75 4K dual gain output sensor, and that's really, really important. That's the one that gives that massive big dynamic range with the shadows and the light. Very, very cool. Same sensor as the C300 Mark III, no IBIS. It's got the RF mount. It's going to have 10-stop internal ND filters built into it. C-Log 2 and 3 will come standard with it. It's going to be 422 10-bit onto SD cards. No CF Express there. So that's pretty interesting to see that. The new release, they've got basically said, well, we tried a CF with R5 and we're going straight back to SD. So very interesting. 4K 120 and 2K 180. No mention of 8K or 5K or 6K or 12K. None of that. Just cinema, 4K, 120 frames a second. I think it's going to be pretty cool. There's going to be no RAW for it at launch, but by the way they're talking about it, it's something that's going to come in a firmware update fairly reasonably quickly, I'd say. And it's got the BPA batteries to be used in it. So very cool. Now the C50 is going to be very similar. I think it's going to use the same sensor. Now I think from when I got these notes, I think it's actually changed to the C200 sensor. I'm not sure if it's the same. I know it's the DJI. Excuse me. I know it's the same sensor as very similar sensor. It's still Super 35 and dual gain output and 4K. I think it's the C200, but I think they said yesterday. So a little bit of a change to that one. But yeah, look, I think they're going to be fairly handy bits of gear. And for those guys that weren't really happy with the R5 and its performance as a video camera, well then I think this C50 and C70 are going to fill those holes for those professionals looking for video that's portable. And I think that's really what a lot of people were thinking the R5 was. And I think the R5 will then sort of slot itself really where it should be as a hybrid camera that can do great options as video and do great photos. A bit of, not the best of everything, but good at a lot. And I think that's probably where it really sits instead of that amazing video camera that everyone wants it to be. I think these things are going to be the ones that are going to be pretty tickety-boo. Excuse me. Now, Tesla Battery Day, if you're sort of wondering why the share price for them's gone through the roof, I've got a funny feeling some of this information from the Battery Day, which is due. Battery Day for Tesla is like Apple Day with the phones and iPhones releases. Well, they do the similar sort of thing where they talk about every year at their stockholders meeting about what tech's coming up, what do they envisage the next 12 months is going to be for the company, where they're going, what they're doing, how they're traveling. Now, some big stuff for this, and probably the biggest one that rumored around Tesla Battery Day, and that's 22nd, so 23rd, so a couple of days for us, and we'll hear this. So Wednesday, you should see some videos about it, so check it out. The million-mile battery, and that is the biggest rumor. Biggest thing with battery cars and electric cars is the battery. The cost of the batteries cost a fortune, and then if you're to replace them every 5 years, sometimes it's more valuable than what the car is valuable, if that makes sense. So getting a million-mile battery, and they're talking about a 4,000 cycle battery with maybe, if you're doing a 500 to 600 miles on one charge, well then you're going to get 50 cycles a year. 4,000 cycles, do the maths, that's what they're sort of planning. So they call it a million-mile battery, and they think it's going to be pretty darn good. It's going to be more environmentally friendly, better batteries, less cobalt, so there's less mining, there's less environmental damage, faster charging, and they'll be able to really pump the juice in, so that's good. You won't have to sit at the power station or the service station waiting for an hour, drinking coffee and bad sandwiches while you're waiting for it to charge. They'll be able to get in and get like the 10 to 15 minute power boost and get to the next station. So that's pretty cool. Longer range because they're more compressed and dynamic and all that sort of stuff. Smaller sizes and lower costs. That's the big one as well. So that longer range, lower costs, and not having to change the batteries out every 5 years is going to be huge for them. And I got a funny feeling, there's a few companies that have sort of been involved in this, and battery tech companies that have been talking about this million-mile battery for a while. And I think Tesla must be onto it, and I've got a funny feeling that's why that share price has been going through the roof. If they release that million-mile battery this year, that's going to change the landscape again, because you're going to have the number one car company on the planet basically just go another 10 steps ahead of everyone, which is just going to blow them out of the water. It's going to be insane. They'll be able to reduce those costs of the Tesla. The cheapest car might actually be affordable to a normal human. It might come down to like 20, 30 grand instead of the 60 to 70, which is the cheapest one. So that's going to be pretty cool. So stay tuned on that. I'll let you know as I find out. Now, we talked about the Trump. Epic has announced Fortnite no longer available on macOS. They're saying that they can't get in the developer app because there's ongoing legal suits, so they've basically shut it down. If you're a Mac user, you can not get Fortnite. Apologies to you from Apple. Hopefully they can, I don't think it's going to happen really quick because it seems like it's getting very bitter and long term, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. But now it's affecting all Mac users. If they like an odd game here or there, or if they're pro gamers, well then they're going to have to go out and buy a new computer and sell their Mac. So it's going to be pretty interesting. Now the Rivian Ute, there's a new video up on YouTube. I'm a big fan of Rivian and their electric Utes. I reckon they're great. I'm really hoping they come to Australia. I don't think I think it's something I'd wait for to look at purchasing, depending on the prices and how they go with that. They did their hot weather testing not long ago, or last couple of weeks. I've been going out to Death Valley doing some hot weather, 38 plus degrees Celsius, towing an 11,000 ton trailer, no issues. Obviously, it's their video made up. You could easily edit it and make it look fantastic. They're not going to show it broken and blowing up and anything like that. But look, it looks pretty promising. That's the real world, especially for us in Australia. 38 degrees, definitely need that. Out here, you get up to 50 degrees Celsius easily. So, and the guys doing the Utes, these ones go through water, not like the F-150. And there's a lot of stuff out there. So I think this is looking really good. They seem like they've got a big win on their hands. So very much looking forward to that. So go check out that video. That's pretty cool to see what they're doing, see them actually testing machines up hills in this ridiculous heat in Death Valley. So good work, and can't wait to see more from them. It's a nice looking Ute as electric Utes go. It's not the best looking, but it's still nice. It's better than the Cybertruck. Sorry, Tesla, that's ugly. I'm not a fan. That's personal preference. Rightio, I will see you all tomorrow. That's it, done and dusted. Big one, had to rush. Hope it didn't go too fast for you. If not, just start again and watch it over again. I'll take a view. If you haven't subscribed and you've just popped by or you're here on a podcast, thank you very much. Much appreciated. I hope you enjoy it. Tech news, reviews, and all that fun stuff. And Monday to Fridays. Rightio. I'll see you all tomorrow, Tuesday, for shift change. Cool. See you then. Whether you're going that way, I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.